The Minnesota Timberwolves defeated the Los Angeles Lakers 103-96. Now the Lakers are officially eliminated out of the playoffs. Minnesota will now advance to the second round. They're waiting the winner of the Rockets Warriors series. So they have some time off to rest and prepare for the playoffs. But I'd say, as a Laker hater, as a LeBron hater, this is great. This is great. The Lakers are out of the playoffs. We don't have to hear about LeBron for at least a few more months until he starts revving up for attention during the summertime with whatever antics that he pulls. But for now, this is great. We won't have to hear about this. So that is awesome. I also hate the media. So I know that they're going to be in tears tomorrow knowing that the Lakers are officially done for the playoffs. This is great. Now, going back to the game, I would say it was evident from the start that the Lakers were going to lose this game. It was very obvious in my eyes when the Timberwolves were killing them on the offensive boards just from the get-go. They were getting offensive rebounds on possessions, and the Lakers were not really trying. To me, one of the biggest signs a team has quit in an elimination game is when they're giving up a ton of offensive rebounds. That shows to me like the fight in them is gone, that they don't really have it anymore. Now, the Timberwolves did not shoot well in this game at all. I think that's the only reason why the Lakers didn't get blown out, because the Lakers were really trying to go home for summer vacation, go to Cancun. They really wanted to, but the Timberwolves allowed them to stick around because the Timberwolves played a very sloppy style of basketball throughout this game, especially when it came to shooting. That's the only reason why the Wolves didn't blow them out by like 20 or 30 and only won by 7. But you knew that they were going to win this game, that it was going to happen by the way the Lakers are playing and their lack of effort and how the Timberwolves are just trying hard on every possession, especially when it came to getting rebounds, that they were just going to win this game. It was not a question of if, but by how much they were going to win, at least in my eyes. Even when the game was close in the third quarter and the Lakers had taken back the lead, I just knew it wasn't going to last long and the Timberwolves would just take the lead back, and they did. And obviously they ended up winning this game by several points. But I would say for the Timberwolves, the two most important players in this game was Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle. Both of those guys should share like player of the game awards because they were just amazing. They're the reasons why the Wolves won this game. I would say, especially Rudy Gobert, just 27 points on 27 points, 24 rebounds on 75% shooting. That is ridiculous. Like, that is absurd. So that's insane how well he shot in this game. And I think I was even off about the math if I'm doing it correctly. Actually 80% shooting. So correction, 80% shooting. You get 27 points, 24 rebounds, 2 blocks. Yeah, he was the main reason why they won. He got so many rebounds, got so many dunks, got even some post-up plays, and he dominated this game. But one thing I would say that's funny about this game was J.J. Redick's lineup, that he went small at the beginning of the game, playing Rui Hachimura at center. So the Lakers were undersized, and that was another giveaway that you kind of knew that they were going to lose this game, because how are you going to win this game being an undersized team? I know even in this current NBA, small ball is big, but still, even in the modern NBA, you need to have a decent amount of size to win games, especially in the playoffs, that you need it. And by going small, I think that was a huge mistake by J.J. Redick. I don't know if he was in mad scientist mode, but that was definitely a dumb coaching decision. I wonder why he hasn't played Jackson Hayes in a while. Not to say Jackson is a good player, but that was like the only type of size that the Lakers had, and they pretty much forfeited that from the beginning. And it really hurt. Rudy took advantage of it. Julius Randle took advantage of it. They pounded the paint area. They got so many easy buckets inside the paint, and the Lakers suffered big time. And just one point I want to make is when the Luka trade happened, I said that the biggest issue with the Lakers were that they're not going to be really a good defensive team because LeBron and Luka are both traffic cones, and that they don't have rim protection. And this stuff would be exploited during the playoffs. This series exploited that weakness. Going forward, the Lakers are going to have to correct this, and I don't think they'll be able to do it this summer. They're also going to have to make a difficult decision on whether or not to keep LeBron. Granted, to me, it's not difficult for me. I would just let LeBron walk, to be honest. But for the Lakers, it will be difficult because LeBron's star power, his influence on the league, and the media, that I think they would be pressured, or they will be pressured into making a dumb decision to keep LeBron when they should just let him walk. That he should definitely leave the Lakers. Well, they should force him to leave because they're not going to win anything with him. This Luka LeBron combination won't work. They're better off if they build the team around Luka, obviously, but they add a bunch of good role players right now and just wait it out, in the sense that eventually a star player will want to join Luka within a year or so. We'll try to force a trade to go there, because that always happens with the Lakers. If they're smart, they would do that. That's just my opinion, about this game. And just, but back to, that's just my opinion about this team. That's what I meant to say going forward. But back to this game, I felt earlier in the series that this could be a passing of a torch type of moment between LeBron and Anthony Edwards when it comes to star power and face of the league. And you could say it was based on that huge Game 4 Anthony Edwards had in the series, where he scored 40-some points and just asserted his will in the game. This game, he did not have a good shooting game. He was terrible, 5 of 19. But he was good all around in every other category. He had 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals. And I think one of the most impressive things was 0 turnovers. He was a great playmaker in this game. He was getting everybody involved, getting guys open shots, whether it was 3-point shots, layups. He was doing everything. So I give him that. Even though he didn't shoot well, he found a way to win this game. Great players find ways to win games even when they're not shooting well, and he did that in that game. So you give him credit. So it'll be interesting to see who the Timberwolves face in the next round and how much more success Anthony Edwards is able to have in these playoffs. But he's off to a good start. And, man, if he takes out just any more of these legends, he might get the nickname Legend Killer, which is a nickname that Randy Orton, the wrestler, had in WWE for taking out these legendary wrestlers such as Hulk Hogan and these other guys. The Legend Killer, he might get that nickname in my eyes in the NBA if he takes out another legend, especially if he takes out Stephen Curry in the next round. He definitely will get that nickname. But I like to give one final thought about this game and just the series, I would say, in general. But I want to talk about Luka Doncic, because the way he got traded was very controversial this season. The Mavericks shipping him off when everyone thought he was going to have a Dirk Nowitzki-like type of career with the Mavericks, and obviously they betrayed him. This was a farce of a trade, a bailout trade, I felt, for the Lakers. Granted, I'm happy it didn't work out, but when you reflect on the reasons why the Mavericks wanted to trade him, it was for 2 reasons. That he's out of shape, and they don't trust he's worth that money due to him being out of shape and being injury prone. And the second thing is that he's a crappy defender. I think both of those things reared their ugly head in this game. That his defense was garbage. His conditioning was terrible, like always. Granted, you can't blame this too much on him getting hurt when Dante DiVincenzo fouled him hard and he landed on his ass in an awkward way. But I would say if he was in better shape, these injuries wouldn't be as bad. The blows would be a little bit more softer. So that's one thing to consider. In this game, he shot poorly. I think he shot 38%, so he was god-awful. So going forward, I would say Luka, it'll be interesting to see if Luka has motivation now to prove his haters wrong. Will he get into shape this summer? Now, I think getting in shape can be fixed. I think that's a a personal choice that he can get in shape if he wants to. But becoming a good defender, I'm not so sure if that can ever be fixed. Maybe he can get to a point where he can become an average defender. It's a possibility, but that's something that might hold him back from being a champion in the future. Is that his terrible defense and his bad conditioning. But I guess the final thought I'm going to say is about LeBron. This guy should retire. I've been screaming it for the last few years that it's not his league anymore. And obviously he won't retire because he's a narcissist and he can stat pad and get away with it since the media will suck off on him. I think for LeBron, his goal is to get 20 points a game at least, so that way the media still thinks he's a great player when he's not. But this game showed how ugly his stat padding can be. Just he got 22 points on 9 of 21 shooting, 6 assists, 2 steals, and he shot poorly. But you would think by looking at the box scores, he had a good all-around game when he didn't really. He was a terrible defender in this game, and he was nowhere to be found in the fourth quarter of this game. Completely absent. Just he didn't show up. He had 0 points in the fourth quarter, and that's just another sign that he's old now. He doesn't have the energy to finish these games like he did when he was younger. The best thing for him to do would be to retire, but I know he won't. He's going to drag this out longer. What I really wonder is will the media start to see now this guy's a stat pattern since he's not winning anymore? Will they finally call him out on that? And if they do, and maybe then he'll finally retire if the media is not giving him credit for stat padding and getting 20 points a game. But we'll see, and that's all I have to say.